What I started doing was unlocking certain adjectives that would give me the type of sound I was looking for. And I mean, I'll lay them on. I'll lay them on. I'll do a few adjectives and then I'll do a descriptive phrase. So, I want, you know, heavy rain like the day was one of the saddest ever, and people are mourning over the loss of wounded soldiers coming back from war. Like I get specific like that, right? And then describe something very visual, right? A real visceral scene. That's what I give it, and then I get that back out of the music. And so I was talking to my students the other day, and one of the things I told them, I said, it's very rare that you'll see a picture and it makes you hear something, but you will often listen to something and it takes you a place. You'll listen to something and it gives you this whole reality you can see with it. And so sound is very, you blend that with soundscapes and effects and all of that, and you really have this experience through sound that can become visual. So if you paint a picture literally, with the words that you enter into the AI, the way that you prompt it, you're going to get way more out of the AI, out of the result, out of the credits that you're going to be limited to, if you can grasp the language aspect of it. So really get your vocabulary up. You know what I mean? Really be descriptive and specific about the mood, about the energy, about the instruments themselves. You can really say, you want a haunting saxophone that da-da-da-da sounds like it was in a boom, add light reverb plus da-da-da-da and flange. Use the language that use the terminology that you're familiar with, as far as a creator, a producer. So the more knowledge you have and the more language you have, the results out of this thing is going to be extremely impressive. You're going to like what you get, and it's really composing. You're really composing. So we celebrate composers, but they themselves usually don't play instruments. So they play one instrument, maybe they play piano, but they're basically saying, yo, I think this would sound dope, and then maybe we should have some horns over here and we should have some violins over here and doing stuff. And that's really what it is.